All right, we are live. It is Monday night, and it's now Monday morning quarterback at night. What's up, Mike? How you doing? I am just your average Joe with my co-host Mike DiStefano. How you doing tonight, Mike?
Hey, doing Joe? Had a good Christmas?
I mean, it could have been a better Christmas, and I think you know why.
It could
It
have,
could have
yeah.
been. I mean, for more reasons than not. I mean, obviously, with what everybody's going through, not being able to see families and whatever, but also what I'm alluding to is the fact that Giants lose again, and now they need some help. They need help to get into the playoffs. They need to not only win against Dallas at home, but what does that mean? And they need Washington to lose to Philly, which
I already asked you the question yesterday. I said, refresh my memory. Is this week 1 or week 16? Because that defense looked like week 1.
well, they've been looking like week 1. Look what Cleveland did. Look what other teams have been able to do. That just moving down the look at Baltimore yesterday. You had Cleveland. What was it last week?
Yep.
That just marched down the field with ease. What's his face? Baker had his highest. I think actually the Browns' highest ever completion percentage in a game. He had like 80 something percent of his passes were completed. He had 295-yard drives. I mean, they just do not stop anything anymore.
Nope.
And when your offense doesn't score, that's a problem. Now Jones got into the end zone yesterday. Woo! But obviously too little, too late. Because 2 field goals and a touchdown is not going to beat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They're not.
I mean, if you look at the last 3 games right here, I mean, they gave up 26 to Arizona. They gave up 20 to Cleveland. They gave up 27 to Baltimore.
Now, you can turn around and say, well, those are high-powered offenses, but it doesn't matter. A loss is a loss. Yeah, exactly. Those teams can put up 40 points in a given moment. They have done that. In fact, they did that, if I'm not mistaken, they did that in their previous games before the Giants.
Well, Baltimore, that was the one when you told me the score because I was, because I don't get ESPN, so
yeah.
When you sent me the score, and I was like, holy shit, 89 points in one game?
Yeah, they scored. So we knew that, okay, well, if the Ravens or any other team is going to score 40 or more points in a game, we got to step up. We can't score 13 points. You can't throw 1 touchdown. That's it. I'm glad Jones played. I'm glad he looked somewhat decent. He didn't turn the ball over, which is good.
He wasn't really mobile, though.
No, he's not. That's the issue now because he's not going to be able to run.
Like I said last week, if you're gonna have that, it's like having Eli again.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, even Gallman ran for like 20. What was it? 20. I have it written down. 27 yards. Gallman had. Jones, as you said, is immobile, so he's not going to run. He threw for 252. He had the touchdown. As I said, no turnovers, which is always a plus. Their highest, the highest receiving total was Shepard with 77. He had the touchdown.
The best question I heard all day was because I listened to the game on FAN. Carl Banks even said to Bob Hopper, he goes, I don't understand why the Giants aren't running the ball more. And I screamed out, because Jason Garrett is your fucking offensive coordinator. That's why.
Let's see for how long. That might be one of the changes that you and I were talking about before we came on. We don't know what's going to happen, especially if the Giants don't make the playoffs.
I got a scary feeling that Jason Garrett's going to be the next head coach of that team. That's what scares me.
I hope not. And then look, we were talking about their defense when they had that winning streak going on. Their offense was okay, but their defense is what won the games for them. They had 0 sacks. And they had 1 fumble recovery. That was it. That was what their defense produced yesterday.
And a bunch of stupid penalties that they pulled off too.
Yeah. And Lamar, not.
I mean, Dez catches a touchdown. There was nobody near him.
Yeah, he was wide open.
There was nobody. Yeah.
No.
Hello.
This is what we're talking about, the blown coverage. I don't know if they're playing if the zone is not working or if they're playing too soft. I have no idea. But these guys are wide open.
I don't know how Joe Judge picked this defensive coordinator, but he's got to go too. But to me to say, is this week 1 or week 16? After you just won 4 games in a row, there's a problem here. They're back to playing like they were 0-5 again.
And they're also playing tougher teams now as well.
That's the problem, and we brought that up already about the schedules. And like, whoever gave us the schedule really hates the Giants because, like I said, Dallas has a cakewalk.
Yeah.
Dallas has a cakewalk, and they're going to run this freaking table and probably. And I'll never hear, and we'll never hear the end of it. Even with a 7-9 record, it's the Cowboy fans that think they're high, mighty, and superior. Whatever
Oh,
they
hey,
win.
look at us. We go into the playoffs, and we're going to go in 6-10. So we're not any better.
No, but I mean, we're not gonna. I mean, like, all right, we'll be happy about it, but like Dallas fans will literally brag and say how great they are.
Well, and going back to the Giants and their wins, three of their wins came within the division. One against Philly, two against the Washington, and they had that big win against Seattle. And why am I blanking on the fifth?
Hold on.
Cincy? Did they beat the Bengals?
I don't know. I think they did.
I think it was Cincinnati.
Let me check.
Because that was around the time that they were winning. I'm pretty sure it was Cincinnati. And if it was, this just goes to my point. They were beating lowly teams with the exception of the Seahawks.
We beat Washington week 6. We beat Washington week 9.
Mm-hmm.
Then we beat Philly.
Had to be Cincy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Cincy, and only by 2 points. I mean, we almost lost that game.
Yeah. So, and that's what I'm saying. They beat lowly teams with the exception of the Seahawks, and the Seahawks, the defense beat that team, not the offense. And look, Lamar had 183 passing. He had 2 touchdowns throwing the ball. He had that fumble, the 1 turnover that the Giants got. But he also had 80 rushing yards. But as a team, they had a total combined 249 yards between.
That's another thing. The Ravens average about 220 per game.
Yeah. Well, and they also have, and on top of Edwards and Dobbins yesterday at 162 combined, put Lamar Jackson on top of that. And then they had some other running back who had like 6-7 yards, whatever. That's why it's 249. But it's just the Giants couldn't do anything, either in the air or stopping them. They couldn't stop them on the ground either. So, look, again, not much really can say about it. I was hoping for a win. I knew it was going to be a tough game, as was the game against Cleveland. God forbid we got the what do you call it, the wide receiverless Browns. We had to get them at full strength. The Jets get them, without their form. So I don't know if you know, and we're going to get into that in a second.
I already read the story. I know that Landry, Peoples-Jones,
Higgins,
and somebody
and Hodge.
Yeah,
they're 4 starting wide receivers out.
I'm surprised they didn't go more with a run game in that thing with Hunt and Chubb and just try to.
Well, I don't know. So was it a matter of they didn't run the ball enough, or they couldn't get it up?
They didn't run the ball enough because I watched the highlights and every time I saw Baker with the ball in his hand, he was throwing it. And then he folks, that was segueing into the Jet game, like because I guess we're done with the Giants.
We are. And the only other thing I wanted to add was, we already said it. So now for the Giants to have to get into the playoffs, they not only have to beat Dallas at home next Sunday, but they also need. I mean, a win does nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Kenny Albert was talking about. What you were telling me, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
They need Philly to beat now the Washington. Also,
and it sickens me now. I gotta root for them next week. It just
you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to watch the game. You just gotta hope they win.
Well, no, I gotta watch it for the purpose of the show. But
here's the icing on the cake, though. Think about it this way: they were eliminated yesterday, so Philly can't go anywhere. All they can do is play spoilers. So, yeah, I understand you don't want to root for them. Trust me, I don't want to root for them either. But so yeah, so. Getting back to the segue into the Jets inexplicably, it's mind-boggling that you go 0-13 your first 13 games, you do absolutely nothing, and now all of a sudden you got these trick plays and you got this new life. I honestly think it's Gase trying to sabotage the Jets because he knows he's done.
yeah, here's the thing. And of course, and thank you for the very nice comments about my post on Facebook trying to get us people to watch this show. We saying
No, it was actually, dude.
my
Obviously,
opening being well said, but it's the truth.
yeah.
Does Adam Gates know the concept of the NFL draft? And I actually stole that from you yesterday because that's what you said to me in a message. Does he know the concept of this? That if you lose, you get the better draft pick. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden, you're 0-13, and like you said, now you come up with fucking ways to win. I mean, I know this guy is stupid to begin with, but I mean, I gotta agree. I think he is trying to sabotage everything and try to, fuck everything up. But
well, who's dumber? Who's dumber? And let's be honest now. Who's dumber? Who's the coach that's doing this, or the fans? Some of them, obviously, not the smart ones, but the fans that actually think this is a good thing. They're cheering, "Oh, my Jets won," and they're posting it on Facebook and whatever. Do you understand what they did?
You know what? I don't think the fans are. I think the fans have pride. They don't want to be that team. They don't want to be the. You know what I mean? When Detroit and Cleveland went 0-16. I mean, for God's sakes, Budweiser and was willing to give free beer to Cleveland Browns fans if they would have won a game that season. Yeah. And they went 0-16.
Let's flip it for a second. Let's just flip it for a second. Let's say Daniel Jones was with the team for several years. He's not doing anything. We need a jump start. There's a generational player that so they say. Now we all know draft picks can be busts. Look at Ryan Leaf. Look at other ones that have come and gone. Look at Dwayne Haskins. Look at Haskins.
Yep, there you go. Yep.
Who'd you say before? I'm sorry.
Tim Couch.
Oh yeah, Tim Couch, another Brown. So let's be honest. Not every draft pick.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, Johnny, another Brown. So look, I get it. I know a draft pick isn't, okay, he's gonna be the next Joe Montana or the next Tom Brady, whatever you want to call him. But the point of the matter is,
excuse me on that, guys. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to put mute on the mic.
Don't worry about it. So the point of the matter is, at 0-13. I find no difference. And if it was with the Giants too, would it be embarrassing to go 0-16? Yes. But if I knew beyond any doubt.
But if you knew that Trevor Lawrence.
No, even Trevor, whatever it was that suited our team that we could get with the first round pick and then build upon that. There's no difference between going 3-13 if they win next week or 0-16. There is absolutely no. You're still one of the worst teams in football. So you're going to say with the Jaguars being 1-14, they're any better than the Jets? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, not any better, any worse than the Jets? No, they're both at the bottom. They're both shitty.
That's the truth. I mean, you're not wrong for saying that. I mean, it's just
at the end of the day, you would be at the bottom, but you would also be at the top of the list for a draft pick. And you can better your team. It's talk about future. Now, here's the other thing I don't know because I haven't done the research, and that's on me. And that's only because my team is not playing for the second pick now. But who is the consolation prize? Who is the second pick? Maybe it's not. I heard that there really isn't. It's like a step down. Like it's not even close between Trevor Lawrence and who might go second. But,
I mean, maybe they could draft. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like Trevor Lawrence was the golden goose. He was the pot at the end of the rainbow. You got Justin Fields, who's from Ohio State, and like I said, nothing good comes out of Ohio State. It's a weak conference to begin with. From what I heard about him, from some ESPN clips I listened to about that, because I was trying to follow up more with the Jets losing the first game, trying to find out, what their options would be.
Right.
And he looked weak against some other, up against, I believe they said Illinois, I think, and Kentucky. That he really looked weak against those two teams. That's not a good thing if you're supposed to be this big deal. I mean, if you're looking to you're going to have to give Donald the 2-year option. Now you got no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
You really don't. Now, what do you go after?
Well, hold on. Do you think, and that's actually, you know what though? That's another question that none of us have asked since we were talking about first round picks and this and that. Is Trevor Lawrence even NFL ready?
I believe he is. I mean, a lot of scouts, Todd McShay from ESPN said he's more than ready. And McShay loves his mock drafts, and he loves being that guy. But I mean, he says the kid's more than ready to step onto the field and be that number 1 draft pick. And I think going the way of Jacksonville now is a better idea because New York, like you said, New York has always been, like they say, it's high profile. It's one of the high profile cities to play in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why they feel like maybe that's why Daniel Jones isn't playing good and Donald. But I mean, if you can get Sam Donald to sign, give the 2-year option, he's got targets out there he could throw to. Maybe he just needs another, maybe give him a running back. You got Frank Gore, he's your number 1 running back, and he's 900 years old in football years.
Oh, they got rid of Le'Veon Bell.
You draft yourself a rookie running back at number 2. Find something good. Draft one of these kids that's in the top 4, or even draft a kid from Georgia or something if he's eligible. Draft a running back for me. My theory is if you're going to draft number 1, you either go SEC, or ACC, which Trevor Lawrence is in the ACC with Clemson, but then you got Alabama, you got Georgia, you got LSU, you got Florida. Those are 4 damn good schools with good football programs. You could find a decent running back in those 4 schools to have this kid to have Donald have this, have a little backup of the running game.
That's not a bad idea because I think the comparison between the 2 quarterbacks right now in New York, and I've been saying this, because for the most part, it looks like Donald is actually well protected. And I forgot to mention in yesterday's game, not only was Jones
and he was well protected yesterday. I mean, Cleveland's got a damn good. I mean, Cleveland's got a decent defense.
But and I don't think they got to Donald, but Jones got not only sacked 6 times, but he was hit 11.
Yeah.
And again, he's not mobile, so he's collapsing in the pocket. He's not able to escape the sack either. But
and like I said, I think he's still worried that if he takes off, something's going to happen to his leg.
And that's understandable. He just came off that injury. In fact, he's not even off of it. He's still on it. He's still injured. But Donald, he threw 175. He had 2 touchdowns. Crowder had that 43-yard bomb to Berrios. The trick play. So they do have weapons. They do have Crowder. They do have Berrios. I think you're right. Maybe draft a running stick with Donald for another year or 2, and get
a head coach that can work with him because Gase isn't working.
No,
Gase is a moron. Okay, I mean I gotta say that I can coach that team better than he can. And that's saying a lot because he has experience in football.
Well, we'll see what they do because maybe with the second pick, you're right. Maybe they go for a running back. Maybe they knew something about Lawrence that we don't know. I doubt that's the case. I doubt that's the case. But,
I mean, like I told you earlier, Jacksonville's already talked to Jerry Reese and jokingly we said he'll probably draft a wide receiver, and then the Jets can take Trevor Lawrence because Jerry Reese is an idiot as well when it comes to drafting.
I still want to know what they do with the 3 quarterbacks that they have right now.
I would love to see Adam Gase go to Oakland as like an offensive coordinator or a quarterback coach, because then you got Carr looks like a meth head, and Gase on his pictures looks like he's a freaking pothead. So I mean, it will mesh well.
All right, we'll see what they do, and let's see if the Jets can get a win next week. What do you think they do? Do you think they go for their 3rd win?
I already looked over the records. If they do pull off 3 in a row, which they're playing New England, they might be able to pull that one off now. It's not going to hurt, or it ain't going to hurt them with number 2.
No,
because everybody else has 4 wins.
Yeah, they still have number 2 no matter
So
what.
I mean,
Yeah, whether
bigger
they win or not, at this
but,
point, it doesn't matter. You're not getting number 1, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, even if Jacksonville pulls off a win next week, and they both go 2-14, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not going to hurt them either way because Jacksonville has that.
yeah.
I don't know how these tiebreakers are figured out.
That I don't know. I don't know how the worst team gets tiebreakers, but yeah, the Jaguars get the tiebreaker. So
I mean, I would go by who had the rougher schedule, maybe. That would be something to consider. Like, okay, well, how many teams were above 500 that beat them? Then that would be a reason to say, okay, that's a tiebreaker. But we don't know.
all right, well, let's get into the other games. You got and as the thumbnail shows, Alvin Kamara, I'm sorry, scored a record-tying 6 touchdowns in one game.
Should have
with
been
the
7.
It should have. I don't know why they now. Why did they run with Hill? Why did Hill? You know what I mean? Why did
I don't know what happened. They had and the funny thing is, they had 1,000 fans in the stands, and they were literally, you could hear those people booing.
I would have been too, and I would have been pissed if I was Kamara.
They actually took out Breeze and Kamara, and everybody was booing. And even Troy Aikman said to Joe Buck, he goes, Are those real boos or those piped in? And then Buck goes, no, those are real. He goes, wow. He said, can you imagine if this whole place was filled up right now? I think that's why he got 6 because right after that, I don't know how they got. In 4 minutes, they had the ball 3 times. I don't know how the hell that happened.
Yeah, no, well, they just stopped them. The Vikings couldn't do anything.
Yeah, they couldn't do nothing. But then when you looked at it, it was, I guess, when they got the ball back, even with less than 2 minutes,
they just kneeled.
Sean Payton was like, "Okay, I feel bad. Go have fun." And
yeah, but their last possession, they had plenty of time, but they just kneeled the ball out. They could have got him another kick. I mean,
the last possession he scored number 6.
No, I know, but
he had 5, and then they booed, and then he came out again and scored.
But then there was the very last possession of the game. I think they had a little under a minute or a minute to go, and they just decided to kneel the ball.
I would have done the same thing, but I think the whole thing should have been done. It should have been done where the 6th one should have been where Hill ran it in.
Yeah, I agree. Breeze threw for 311, had 2 interceptions. Hill had the 1 rushing touchdown, we said, but. Yeah, I mean, that's a big game. He had 155 yards. So most of them, it's still a good amount of yards, but most of them, obviously, if you have 6 touchdowns, most of them were, and in fact, from the highlights, most of them were, I think within the 10. They got to the goal line because even, I think Murray even had a big game for them as well. I don't think, not as big, but they got, he would get the bulk of the yards in the highlights, and then Kamara would be the one that rushes in it. So, yeah, I was very surprised when I saw that in the highlights. I was like, wow, they gave it to Hill and they didn't even have Alvin in there. I was just whatever. But yeah, so with that loss, the Vikings were eliminated and the Saints are now 11-4. And they're right behind the Packers, which I still think the Packers are probably pretty much going to win the division. Now, that's also saying that they have to beat the Bears next week, which is not a big one.
And the Bears got the hottest offense in the league right now.
Yeah. And speaking of hot offenses, I know it was against the Lions, but the Bucs ended their 13-year playoff drought and they won 47-7 against the Lions. And you had said that Brady pretty much played a half and still got more. He got more than a half.
He worked half a day. He worked 2 quarters, and they sat him down. But his replacement came in.
Yeah, Blaine Gabbert.
And he threw for 2 touchdowns, which guarantees now Tom Brady will get Blaine Gabbert traded after the season, as Tom Brady does, because no, you are not taking over for me.
No, and I doubt that he's worried about that, dude. If you're working only half a game and you're still putting up numbers more than any other quarterback in the league has put in for a whole game, that's still something special.
Yeah, but you know the Tom Brady rule.
What?
If you show up, I'm going to make sure you don't come back. Come on, Matt Castle.
Yeah.
Jimmy G.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That ain't bad. I mean, they ain't bad for 2 quarters or backup.
Mike Evans, though, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Amazing. And for
Gronk
that,
had
for that,
2 touchdowns. Godwin and Antonio Brown had 1 touchdown each. Everybody had a touchdown yesterday.
actually, Gabbett threw one of the touchdowns, the
Yep.
25-yarder to Gronk.
Yep.
And then Fournette had a rushing one. So
Now the craziest game yesterday, and unfortunately, not yesterday, on Saturday, and unfortunately couldn't watch it because it was on NFL fucking Network.
I did.
That was the final game of the night.
Wait, was it
No, Miami Vegas.
Okay, no, because I saw the Arizona game. Okay,
No, I watched that one. That was on Amazon Prime. I was able to watch that one through Amazon Prime. But no, I'm talking about the Miami Dolphins.
Okay,
the Raiders. So here's the thing. So this is, and I have a lot written down, but this is what it comes down to.
How did what I don't know is because I watched the highlights.
Yeah.
How did Fitzgerald get in the game?
Fitzpatrick.
Well, thank you.
They benched Tua.
I'm thinking Larry Fitzgerald.
They benched Tua. They pulled Tua, and yet they're still going with Tua next week. He's still our starting quarterback.
I don't get Brian Flores' thinking this season on what he did.
Because I tried to look, I had to look it up. I had to see if he got hurt or something. It doesn't say that. He was just benched.
That's what I wanted.
No, they pulled him. What did he have? He ended up. I mean, he didn't have a bad game. Hold on. Let me find it.
It wasn't that bad. I mean,
it wasn't that good either. He had 94 yards throwing with a touchdown, and he ran the ball for 11. And the Raiders, Carr had a great game, 336 with a touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown. Aguilar had 155 receiving yards with a touchdown, the 85-yard bomb from Carr. And then even Waller had 112 yards. But here's where they went wrong. And this is why they lost the game. You're down 23-22. I understand. I got what they were trying to do. They pulled the whole Tiki Barber or whatever it was. Remember, we were trying to remember who did the dive. I think it was Ward. I think we came up with it was Ward.
Yeah.
Who wasn't supposed to score but did.
Yeah, it was. No, wait. Was it Ward?
I thought it was Ward. It was one of the Giants. Anyway, long story short, because I don't want to get into it too much. So
right, it was the goal line where he went like this,
yeah, and he fell in.
And then he fell in when he shouldn't have.
So Jacobs ran from the 5-yard line. It was either the 5 or the 6. No, 6-yard line. They were on the 6. They were on Miami 6. And it was like a minute and change, like a minute and 50 left. He ran to the 1. He advanced 5 yards, but slid and dove the 1-yard line because he didn't want to go in. So from there, they took a knee. They ran the clock out. And then they
went for the field goal.
And then they went for the field goal. And they gave the ball back to the Dolphins with 19 seconds left, up by 1. Now, at that point, they got a touchback. They're starting from their own 25. At that point, the odds were against them. But remember, now they only need a field goal to win the game. They don't need a touchdown.
And it fits through that freaking, I don't know.
The guy's
helmet,
the guy's helmet was coming off of his face when he threw that ball. That's why he got the roughing the passer call against the Raiders. The Raiders defensive men had him basically like turned, like his neck was turned.
I don't know how
he threw it blind. He just threw it.
I don't know how Fitz doesn't have a broken neck from that today.
34-yard, was it 34? I want to make sure because I'm just throwing numbers out. 34-yard bomb to Hollis, but because of the penalty, I think 15 yards was added to that.
Back on 15, that's 49, and there you go.
So they kicked from the 26-yard, 26. It was a 44-yard field goal to win the game. And that was it.
And right now they hold their own destiny. They have to win. I mean, basically have to win. I mean, because the only way
for Miami, Miami has to win. So Miami, Cleveland, and Tennessee all have to win in the ring. That's it.
And Indy have to win with a loss of those 3 to get in. Well,
no, just one of the 3. One of the 3.
Yeah, just one of the 3 with an Indy win. That's what I said.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. So. But the thing is, I get it. I understand. I know the statistics. I know what you were trying to do with the killing of the clock. You don't want to give Miami the ball back, but wouldn't you rather give the team back, whether it's 19 seconds or a minute, wouldn't you rather be up by a touchdown?
I'd rather be up by 8. Because if they would have done that, they would have.
They would have had to have gone for a 2.
Yeah, I mean, they would have had gone for 2 for the win.
No, not for the win. So
The tie.
hold on, 23-22,
A
628.
touchdown would have been, let's say, with the touchdown and the extra point, 29.
Yeah, so if they would have had to get 2 to be up by 7. Remember, they were down by 1. So a touchdown and a 2-point conversion would have put them up 30-23. But even look, worst case scenario, let's say they go for the 2 and they miss it, or if they even just go for 1, they still the Dolphins still need more than a field goal, is what I'm saying, to win or tie.
Yeah.
So that's my point. So I just think it was a bad call.
I mean, it's hard to look at the Raiders thinking that this is the team that gave Kansas City the only loss, and now they basically eliminated themselves.
No, not basically. They're eliminated. That's it. They're over.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Basically they're done, and that's it. It's over, said and done with. And you get eliminated by the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins.
It was just unbelievable. All right, the other good game too, because we were talking about this on Facebook Messenger.
Oh no, wait, the Jets lost to the Raiders, right?
Jets lost to the Raiders. Yeah, remember that Hail Mary to?
My bad.
Was it to Riggs or was it Riggs?
Riggs,
Ruggs?
yeah.
Was it Ruggs?
Ruggs. Yeah, Ruggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the 0-man coverage over there.
0-man coverage, yeah. All out blitz. Yeah, good call. And that's what I'm talking about. So, like, if you weren't losing games on purpose, what was that about? Whatever. All right. The other good game that we were talking about on Facebook Messenger, because the Colts almost won that game, was the Steelers and Colts.
Yeah.
They were up at one point 21-7 with 9 minutes into the third quarter.
I think Ben just totally went. You know what?
Well, their defense stepped up. That was the main thing. Their defense came to life.
But Ben finally started throwing the ball with accuracy and finding people.
Yeah.
And he finally started throwing to Claypool again, which I don't know why he stopped.
Yeah, they even said in it. One of the analysts even said it, or actually no, it was an article. They're like that the Big Ben and the Steelers need to cut Claypool loose. Like they need to basically let him do his thing, not cut him loose.
They basically got to make him their number one target.
I still think Juju is their. I think Juju is their number one.
Well, I think that's what I'm saying. Though I think that he should be number one and have Juju be the second target.
No, really?
I mean, it seems like
Claypool's good, but he's still a rookie. You got to earn that. I think Juju earned that. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's not bad to have that tandem. Is not bad, and even without that, you had Juju and Johnson go from 96 and 75 with the touchdown each. So Ben, he found his thing, 342, 3 touchdowns. But again, more importantly, their defense woke up in the second half. And, they forced some turnovers. They had 5 sacks. They had the interception and I think a sack fumble against Rivers, who threw for 270 with the touchdown, an interception, and a fumble. But
and then Rivers fell apart in the second half too. So
and because of that, now, like we said, they got knocked out to the 8th spot, and now not only do they have to win their final game, which is versus Jacksonville. Well, Jacksonville doesn't have to lose, so they can actually play the game if they want to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's not just write them off. And you know what? If you're Jacksonville, you already got the first round pick, right? You have to you have to get rid of one of your quarterbacks next year. So now you got to showcase what he can do. So that's number 2. And number 3, a win does not take you out of the first round pick, and you're playing spoilers.
Yeah, but he could throw out there as the sacrificial lamb. Are you going to throw out Glennon, Minshew, or the other one?
I would do Luton, right? Luton's your rookie.
I don't know.
Well, maybe Minshew. Actually, maybe Minshew.
I mean, you can keep Luton. Well,
no, Luton's your young guy. You wouldn't want to get rid of Luton. It's probably going to be a.
Well, you're going to get rid of Luton anyway because if Trevor gets injured, then you have a young backup.
Maybe Minshew. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not gonna think for them. But yeah, so now that I think about it, yeah. So maybe the Jaguars are going to probably actually try to win a game next week and play spoilers to the Colts. We will see.
I mean, really, there's nothing on the line anyway. They know that if they
No,
even
that's
win,
it. They got
they
the
win,
first
they
round.
got it. So it doesn't matter anymore.
And then you had the late game last night, which I thought was going to be a lot closer. But, it snowed, it's cold, it's Lambeau. I get it. Packers
The
destroyed.
frozen tundra
It
of
wasn't even close,
Lambeau
though.
Field.
40-14. It wasn't even close.
Nah, it was. It's a funny thing. One of my Facebook friends is like a big Titans fan, and I'm reading his post this morning, and Titan fans are a bunch of freaking crybabies. I mean, they're worse than doubt. It's like every post or the game, he's like, where's the where's the offensive this and where's the holding? What is this BS with the? That was one of the cleanest games I watched all season.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was actually a fun game to watch. I actually like games that are in the snow. I do. I always did. It was a fun game to watch. And look, and Rodgers just
You're playing in because that's the element they should be playing. It's a winter sport.
But most times than not, and and Henry had 98 yards, but most times than not, in games like that, you go to the rushing, and the Packers did too. Dillon had 124, and Jones had almost not 100, but he had 94.
I mean, you gotta give the defensive line of Green Bay credit though. They held Henry.
They did. They held him. They held him as much as
yards.
they could. Yeah. And Tannehill had a bad game, except for that 45-yard rush. That was a good fake. That was a really good fake, but that's because of Henry. But Rodgers threw 21 for 25.
You know what I like? You know what I like about Aaron Rodgers? And
he's a bad man.
Well, besides being that bad man. No, I thought about last night and into this morning. I was like, he's kind of like the John Wayne of the NFL. He's the quiet man. Remember that movie they always put on PX used to put on during St. Patrick's Day after the parade? They put the quiet man on with John Wayne.
Sure.
Okay. Trust me, they did.
Okay.
All right. I'm half Irish. I should know. So that's what he's like. He's like John Wayne. He's the quiet man. He shows up. He goes to work. He goes home. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the way he was. I mean, like until they drafted Jordan Love over the off season, but then he had his little thing he had to say. But then, he calmed down on that. But that's the way he is. And now when you look at it, and now I'm going to say it, Aaron Rodgers needs to be the MVP this year.
He's the favorite right now. He is the front runner.
He has the best QBR. He has touchdown, and I think he has now 4 interceptions now. Mahomes has 6, 5. Oh yeah, because he threw that last one. Okay, yeah. So he has 5. Mahomes has 6. He has more touchdowns than I think he has 1 less than Mahomes now. 40, because I saw 44.
This is what we got. You ready?
Please help me.
So I had 3 written down for the MVP race now, and Henry I included. Henry, I got, Henry's actually at now 1777. I don't think he's going to get the 223. I think it's safe to say.
You don't know with him. I mean, I see the rush for 240.
Playing Houston, who's traditionally known for a defense, but who knows? But anyway, and 15 touchdowns. But anyway, let's get to the other 2 guys, the main ones.
Right.
So Mahomes, 66% pass completion percentage, 4,740 yards, 38 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Rodgers is 70% completion percentage, 4,059 yards passing, 44 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Now, here's the one thing that Rodgers will probably have on top of them now if Reed continues to go with this thinking. It is already being said that Chad Henne is most likely going to either start or come in at one point in the final game because he wants to rest his starters. There's no point. So Mahomes may not even play next week because he's got 700 yards. He's got 700-yard lead, but the only thing is he's also got 96 more attempts, something like that.
But you got to also take into consideration the last few games that Patrick has played. That I mean, they had a struggle to beat a Landlet yesterday. I mean, and that's what Collinsworth said too last night. Is that he will lean more towards Aaron now than Patrick because of that.
Yeah, I'm starting to think so too. Look, I know he leads in yards. I know that. But touchdowns, Aaron seems to be a lot more accurate.
Yeah,
And he's got, he did have that interception yesterday. Look, it was in the snow. Look, when you're throwing 21, what was it? 21 of 25, one of those incompletions is a pass, what do you call it? An interception. That's not bad.
that's not bad at all. Like I said, it's when you get the guy that's throwing 50, 60 passes in a game because there's no running game.
Yeah.
Like they have a running game. That what's his name? AJ Dillon, I think his name was, or
Well, I know they have Dylan, but also they have Aaron Jones.
yeah, no, I'm talking about Dillon.
Yeah.
He's like a Derrick Henry type of running back.
Dylan, yeah, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. A lot of people are talking about Dylan. I never even knew about him. I never heard of him.
He's Aaron Jones' backup.
Okay.
So and then, but that was the best one. He tried doing the Lambeau leap and he missed the first shot, and then somebody helped.
Well, they're saying it's because of the size of his quads. They were comparing his to because Barkley is known for his big legs. So one of the analysts and one of the other guys I was watching today was saying like Dylan's quads are like he's a built back. So and
he's a Derrick, but that's what Chris Collinsworth said is that he's a Derrick Henry prototype type of running back. 250 pounder. Like you said, the quads and the legs and
yeah.
He was good. I like what NBC did though, because you couldn't see the thing. So the NBC put digital yardage out there. So I guess New York was telling the refs, no, move it up a little more, move it up a little. After the kickoff, they couldn't find the 45-yard line. There's
a lot of snow cover.
Let's
not forget Devontae Adams, dude. Devontae Adams, man, 3 touchdowns, 144 yards receiving. He's another one. Obviously he's Rodgers' number 1 target. He's pretty much the only target.
I think Steven Gostkowski needs to retire after this season because, my God, opening kickoff, he kick it out of bounds, and then he's kick a field. This was like the guy that helped really.
We've been saying this since week 1, or early in the season, maybe not week 1, but you know what I mean. Gostkowski's been missing. He's been like fucking up a lot, and he's not known for that.
He's not. And also, even Closey missed a few over.
All right, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. That was inclement weather.
It was.
Yeah, that's more excusable than the other ones, and in just in like either domed atmospheres or sunny situations. Like there's been a lot of we said this before we went on. There's been a lot of missed extra points. They moved the extra point kick 5 years ago. So
and that's why I told you before we went on, and that's Mike's interesting question of the week. I love that segue. And I asked you this, I'm asking on air. Should the NFL get rid of the extra point and just have the refs, whoever, is on the side with the coach, do you want to go for the 2 points or take 7?
No. I think it takes away from the game. It gives them an extra point too easy. That was the whole point so the original extra point was a chip shot, was a nothing. I think it was like a 15-yard field goal.
Right, but to us in our heads, a touchdown is 7 points. It's the 6 points plus that easy.
Yeah, because that extra point was always pretty much automatic. Now that they moved it back 5 years ago, they moved it back to the point where I think it's like a 30-something yard field goal, something like that.
I think it's a 35 yard field goal.
Something like that. It just makes it a little bit more of a challenge to get that extra point.
Yeah, but then sometimes
that point, let's be honest, sometimes
that point could cost you to win, though.
Right. So to have a team say, all right, you can either go for 2 or just take the point automatically, who's going to go for the 2? I don't know.
Some coaches do, but if you want to just say no, I'll take the 7, then let's do that.
No, I don't see the NFL doing that.
Look at Crew yesterday.
We're gonna
Going back
get to
to
that. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Yeah, we'll get into that. Cool. You know you. All right, time to go without any detail or stats or whatever. We're just going to go over the remaining games. We got Seattle clinched their division with the win over the Rams, which was a big divisional win. They needed that. They won 20-9. Rams are now 9-6.
And it's now a scenario too where Green Bay has to win next week over the
They
Bears.
do. They do.
Because there is a possibility that they won't be the number one seed if they lose that game.
Yeah. No, it's true. You're right. It's very.
And Seattle and New Orleans actually could reap the benefits of that. I forgot how the scenario works, but I think you said you had something written down, so don't worry about that.
I don't. Not for that.
Oh, okay.
No, I only have the scenario written for the Bears, Cardinals, Cowboys, and Giants. That's it.
Okay, because the guy from the stat guy from NBC had like this whole thing where if Green Bay loses,
no, I got it. There's a 3-way tie. Yes, I watched that. So if there was a 3-way tie, right? But that was, I believe, before the Packers won last night, wasn't it?
I got me confused.
But anyway, no, you're right. Because if they all go 12-4, let's say they all go 12-4, which they could, right?
Yeah,
I think
tiebreakers involved with.
Like it was weird. Like if the three, here's the thing. I think if the three of them go 12-4, the Saints get the tiebreaker. But if it's just the Packers and Seahawks or something like that, I forgot what it was. It was a crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy scenario. I know Green Bay. It's going to be a tough game next week, but I got a feeling Green Bay is going to win the game anyway. But
look, they're playing in Chicago, and Chicago's got a lot to play for right now, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But anyway, let's just get to it. So the other game, Dallas, they keep their playoff hopes alive. They beat the Eagles. They eliminate the Eagles. And the next opponent, obviously, we talked about it earlier, was the Giants. So they need a win, but they also, just like the Giants, need Washington to lose. So there's that. Now you got San Francisco, who knocked Arizona out of the playoffs as of now. Arizona's in a bad spot because they're not only.
Yeah, Arizona gave Chicago the gift of all gifts.
They did, because not only are they at the 8th spot looking in, but Chicago has a tiebreaker. So even if Chicago loses, if Arizona loses, Chicago still wins.
Yep. Did you see the shot Murray took at the end of the game with 20 seconds left?
Yeah, but he's okay. They said he was okay. He was being evaluated, but they said he's most likely going to be just fine.
Yeah, I knew it was concussion, but he was actually sitting up.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was like
he took a shot though. He did.
No, he took a woof. That was a shot.
And speaking of which, because that's the next game now. Now we knew. Let's be honest. We knew the Bears were going to beat the Jaguars. We knew it because the Jaguars know what's up. They know how to lose. So, but the Bears look 41-17. They're right now. They have the tiebreaker over Arizona, and they right now currently sitting at the 7th and final seed. So they control.
Did you see that one setup where Jacksonville only put 3 men on the line? Now that's showing you how to lose a fucking game.
Yeah.
At a base, pay attention. That's how you lose a game.
So, and we were just talking about this just a minute ago. KC, they clinched the first round bye. They're 14-1. However, they not only had to come back last minute against the Atlanta Falcons,
and
Koo shanked a 39-yard field goal.
This kid's been automatic all year.
Automatic. And he pulled it right. Or, he faded it right or whatever it was. But
he did a Scott Norwood, wide right.
So the Chiefs didn't beat the Falcons. The Falcons beat themselves.
Let me ask you this. And
because again, and hold on, before that field goal miss, they were still winning the game. Again, how many fucking games did the Falcons lose in the fourth quarter this year?
Too many. Too many.
What were you going to say?
Let me ask you this, because we were talking about last week with all this, who will be a team that could beat Kansas City? Do they look like, I mean, do they look like they can win anything?
No, I'm actually glad you brought
they,
this up. I'm glad
they
you brought this
haven't.
up.
I mean, they haven't looked that good the last few weeks, and I'm being honest. I
I'm
mean,
going to answer. I'm going to answer it, and this is the best way I can answer it. Yes and no, and I'll tell you why I'm saying yes and no. I do believe they are the best team in football. I still do. Now, the only reason why I say that is I think right now the only team that I think in whether it's in AFC or the NFC, but I'm just going to stick with the NFC because let's be honest, that's the only team you can face in the Super Bowl is an NFC opponent. I
but
think
who? But like I asked you and James last week, though, who in the AFC can beat them? Now, I said Tennessee. I'm going to take that back. I think Buffalo can beat them.
I think Buffalo can beat them, and I think the Packers could beat them but here's the
But
problem.
the Packers are going to beat them. I said that the
Here's
Packers will win the Super Bowl this year.
here's the problem. Kansas City, look what they did against Atlanta, right? They almost lost to the Atlanta Falcons. They've been shaky here and there, right? However, and somebody else said this too, and one of the analysts said it, and and we've said this, I think, in the beginning of the year too. The Chiefs, for some reason, and Mahomes is in, the number one reason for that. They flip a switch whenever they want to. And I don't want to say, oh, they just got bored with the Falcons and they just figured they'd win last minute. No, they got lucky with the Falcons. Let's be honest.
Very lucky.
They got lucky. And that was what one of the analysts said. It's when are they going to find a spot where they can't come back from?
Well, here's the thing, and Collinsworth brought it up with the Tennessee game when he was talking about Tennessee being.
Where you been? We just talked about. We just had a 40-minute segment about the Bears. Where you been? 40 minutes.
Next week about the East Coast time. I'm on a 2-hour time difference, Nick.
We did. What do you call it? Well, he's only 1 hour behind. He's in Central.
Yeah. Well, no. Now I'm on Mountain because Arizona doesn't have daylight savings. So,
yeah.
So winter.
We were just talking about
winter is 2 hours. Summer is 3 hours. That's why.
We were just talking about the Bears, and they went over Jacksonville, and they pretty much controlled their destiny going into the playoffs. But yeah, I just.
But here's the thing I was saying though, like Collinsworth was talking about the Titans and what they did last year, becoming like this Cinderella team. They were beating Kansas City by 10 in the championship game.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Patrick went, fuck this, here we go. What's that?
That's what I'm saying, and that's what he's been doing this year too. But I mean, the thing is, he's doing it against shitty teams.
So basically, I mean, do you think it's the fact that Patrick is just like, okay, well, we're playing Atlanta. I could probably do this late and still win the game.
Well, because didn't they do that against the Saints? Pretty much.
Sure.
The Saints almost did. Now the Saints also had a just returning Drew Brees
that went 0 for 5 in his first.
Yeah, with an interception.
Right.
Oh, you silly goose! Yeah, we here. Don't worry, we're still good. We're almost done, but at the same time, we still got a good amount of show left. But I don't know.
Back later.
I will say this, man. That win, they're 14-1, but that win against Atlanta did not impress me at all.
No, it did. I mean.
I'm not saying that a team can't have an off game. I'm not saying they have to go 15-1 or 16-0.
No, but I'm saying even like that game where remember when Mahomes like threw 4 or 5 touchdowns and he had like 320 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden afterwards, that's what scares me is.
Well, I mean, if you're scoring 5 touchdowns against a team, you pretty much don't have to worry about the second half.
Well, I mean, if let's say they're playing, let's just say they're playing Tennessee and they're up by like that much.
Yeah.
Tennessee can come back and scare. I mean, between Henry and also with Josh Allen can do the same thing with Singletary and Diggs. I mean, it can happen.
I still think the Bills have a better shot in the AFC. If it gets to an AFC championship where it's the Bills against the Chiefs, I think they have the best.
It's going to be a tight game if it's the Bills and the Chiefs.
I'll also say this too. I wouldn't have said this a week or 2 weeks ago.
Now I can't. I mean, now we can because
No.
There's some question marks are there.
No, I didn't finish. There's nothing to do with what I just said.
My apologies. Go ahead.
Okay, don't worry about it. I wouldn't have said what I'm about to say a couple of weeks ago. If the Steelers play like they did yesterday, they might have a shot against the Chiefs too. And that's only because of their defense.
True.
Their defense stepped up big against a good Colts team.
Right. I mean, and they had to do that. I mean, because basically you were looking at the Steelers as, are they even going to get past the first round with what's going on? Now it looks like, yeah, they can because
they would have went 0-4 their last 4 games. They would have been 11-4, and now they play the Browns. Now I think the Browns will be at full strength next week. I don't know.
I don't know about that because if it's COVID, it's still that 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Not if they test negative. I don't know. I don't know what
I think according to the NFL rules, I think you got to get 3 negatives.
Okay.
So I mean, and they get tested every day anyway. So
that's going to be a tough game then for Baker but they might not even. Well, hold on a second. They'll be out of the playoffs if they lose and the Colts win. They have to win.
And 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Stephen A. saying that they were the biggest threat to Kansas City.
Yeah, it's true. Well, look again. We're going against forces that aren't normal in a given year.
Right. This is.
I mean, I guess it's the same thing as an injury. You know what? I take that back. An injury is an injury, whether it's a COVID injured reserve list or.
Yeah, but you don't. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that because I think the Giants lost like 4 wide receivers to the injury in 1 game.
Yeah.
A few years back with Eli.
Yeah.
But I mean, go figure. But I mean, like,
point, I think we had Shepard out, we had Cruz out. I think Odell was out.
Shepard, Cruz, Odell, and somebody else got injured.
Yeah. So it happens. Not all 4 of your wide receivers though, and they're all.
But here's the thing: you're talking about 4 wide receivers getting back, and of course, I guess because of Lamar Jackson, they were able to play the game for some strange reason. But when you looked at Baltimore with that situation where half the team had it, I mean, normally you don't have half the team on injured reserve, Joe. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You don't have like that whole thing where, oh shit, all of our quarterbacks, Denver, thanks to Roger Goodell, and now this, where basically all 4 of Baker's prime targets. And I still understand why did they go with Chubb and Hunt? Why did they kept? I mean, I know.
I didn't watch the whole game. I only watched highlights. I know both Chubb and Hunt.
I gotta look.
I know Chubb and Hunt have a touchdown each. I know Chubb ran for 28. Hunt, I think, ran for 11 or something like that.
I gotta look at this. Hold on. I'm gonna get you stats.
All right, hold on. I'm saying that without looking at any pages. Hold on. Yeah. So Chubb had 28 yards and a touchdown, and Hunt had 11 yards and a touchdown. But how many carries?
That's what I'm saying. All right,
how many carries?
All right, you want rushing. Okay, here we go. Chubb, 11 carries, 28 yards, 2.5.
Yeah.
Hunt, 4 carries, 11 yards, 2.8.
That's nothing.
That's what I'm saying. That's nothing. I mean, you got a 1-2 combination out there. Why is Baker going 28? Why is Baker throwing 28 for 53?
That's very questionable.
Granted, thank God, no interceptions. I mean, because you know me, my theory, and I always say it: if you're going to throw over 40 passes in a game, you're going to have 2 to 3 interceptions in that game.
Yeah.
Why they didn't go with the run game more is beyond. I mean, I don't question Stefanski. Is that his name?
Sure.
Right? The coach. No, the coach.
I think it's Stefanski. I think so. I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's my wife has a new crush now. It's Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of Cleveland. She goes, he's wearing a mask last night and we're playing the Giants. And she goes, ooh, he's fine. I'm saying, he's wearing a fucking mask. And then I pull up the picture. I pull up the Wikipedia picture. I show her. She goes, ooh. I'm like, Really? But I question Kevin Stefanski for doing that. Like, why would you not go with your 1-2 combination on the ground?
You have a very valid point. I'm going to be honest. When I saw 28 yards and 11 yards with a touchdown each, I just assumed the Jets held them to 28 and 11 yards. I didn't know
No,
they ran the ball for 11 times and 4 times. That's
but
ridiculous.
that's 15 carries.
That's nothing. That's nothing. What
Really?
what they
You're not
tried
gonna
to
you're
do,
not gonna test the fucking Jets.
they tried to
I mean,
have.
I know that Cleveland's got a decent O line. I mean, for God's sakes, Baker's been back there throwing passes and he's getting a good amount of time to throw. So the O line's doing their job. So obviously they can create holes for Hunt and Chubb.
I think they just wanted to put the game in Baker's hands, but I just at that point you don't. Or your stars are right there, Chubb and Hunt. I don't know.
That's the whole thing, and I don't know what they were thinking. So
All
anyway,
right, let's move on. A game that didn't mean anything, but at the same time, you got to be happy for them. Chargers won 19-16 against the Broncos, but Herbert passes Baker Mayfield. Actually, we're just talking about him.
my man, Justin Herbert, baby.
Most touchdowns by a rookie in a season, 28. Baker had 27 back in 2018. So Justin Herbert gets the that mark. And actually, one of the announcers said this too during the game. I didn't see it online, so that's why I didn't report it. But apparently, he's got the most passing yards as a rookie as well, but it didn't say anything about it. So
Remember what I said? Remember what I said, Joe, about this kid?
I think I told you he's going to be he's going to be good. 3-4 years.
Get him a defense.
Yeah.
This kid's going to be taking
3 to 5 years. Look, within
3 to 5.
3 to 5, they'll win a championship around the same time the Mets get one too. And then
I'm giving the Steve Cohen prediction. There you go.
And then our final game to talk about is the Carolina Panthers beat the Washington football team.
Beat him. You actually got the poor guy to get fired.
Basically. That's unbelievable.
Look, the stripper party didn't help to begin with.
Nope.
Okay.
I think he was gone anyway.
Then he had 3 interceptions during the game.
Yeah.
But from what I read.
No. He had 3 turnovers. I think he had 2 interceptions and a fumble.
And 1 fumble. Yeah, because he was throwing the pass and he knocked it out of his hand.
Yeah.
The third thing that broke the camel's back was after the game. He was supposed to talk to the media.
No, and he blew them off. Yeah.
And he refused.
Yeah.
And then Rich Rodriguez talked to Dan Snyder, and he said to him, I can't have this anymore.
What do you think about that? A lot of that was actually going around on online about Urban Meyer being a candidate for a head coach in the NFL. What do you think about that?
I'm not an Urban Meyer fan, period.
All right.
I don't care where he goes and if he doesn't touch my New York Giants.
Well, the Lions did drop their coach. They fired him halfway or in the beginning of the season. They got rid of Patricia.
Yeah, they got rid of Matt Patricia.
Patricia, whatever.
Urban Meyer can basically go anywhere he wants. I mean, the Jets job is open. Most likely the the Jacksonville job will be open, which will bring him back to Florida. Because he coached over there for the Gators.
Because right now there's no upside to go to Detroit. There really isn't an upside.
There really is an upside because I mean, are they going to keep Matthew Stafford? Are they?
What did they do? Why did they do? I didn't look into it. I was just looking at stats. Why did they have 3 quarterbacks play yesterday?
I have no idea.
Stafford threw like 3 passes.
Maybe he got hurt.
I don't know.
Hold on. Let me go to the official.
So again, you look that up. I'm just going to really quick just say what I was going to say. So yeah, so the Washington basically now with that loss, they still control their destiny. But if they would have won yesterday, they would have clinched the playoff berth. But now because of that, they have to not only beat the Eagles as we said. Well, that's pretty much it. They have to beat the Eagles now, and then they're in. But as we both said before, Haskins was let go by the team today, and he turned the ball over 3 times. It was benched, and then they brought in this kid, Heineke or Heineke or whatever it is.
Here we go. Yes, Joseph, it was an ankle injury.
Oh, okay, so he was hurt. But then why did they start two other quarterbacks? What happened with the other ones?
Probably one sucked more than the other.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm over. O'Hara's been playing. How much does Stafford's absence hurt Lions? Lions not using coaching shuffle as excuse.
What do you think now with them getting rid of Haskins? I don't think Alex Smith is going to be ready by Sunday.
No, it's gonna be
Heineke.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke.
I mean, he didn't do bad. He threw 137. He got the only touchdown.
And actually, he was actually drafted by the Panthers, so Rich Rodriguez knows him.
And that's what heard he's got health problems, and that's why he stopped college. But I think he's a great coach. I mean, I'd be happy if he went to the Bears. Is the Bears head? Oh wait, that's right. They got rid of Didn't the Bears get rid of the head coach? Well, no, that was the Lions. Just the Lions.
That was the Lions in Atlanta got rid of the coaches.
Okay.
During the season,
right? Atlanta did.
The Atlanta job is open. Detroit job is open. Jaguars are definitely going to get a new head coach after the season's over.
But Atlanta did both, right? Didn't they do both GM and coach?
Yes. The Jets job definitely going to be an opening.
Giants GM is going to probably be opened.
Giants GM is going to be open, which please, God, please, let's give Bill Parcells the job. I'm not
I'm saying Nagy's still around, but he could be gone soon. I think that all depends. I think if they right now they're as it stands, they're in the playoffs. They win, they're in. If they lose, they can still be in. So, and we're gonna see. And look, and Trubisky looks like is he waking up?
Yeah. I mean, they've been having the most explosive offense the last 3 weeks, and Trubisky's. I can't believe that this guy went from being the starter to being a head case. Nick Foles comes in, then Foles get injured, and then he comes back in.
Yeah.
But in regards to, Haskins getting released. It was a matter of time. Even Stephen A. wrote on his Facebook page today that he basically apologized. In so many words, apologize to the New York Giants for not drafting him because I don't know why people think that if you don't draft an African American quarterback or hire an African American coach or GM, you're a racist in this country. But we already had Odell, and we didn't need another stupid moron on the field.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, look, an organization is going to go in a direction that either suits their needs or they feel is the better choice, whether a player is African American or not. And we obviously they knew what they were doing.
What I mean is there's like when you watch, and like I said, I watch First Take for just.
I do too, and I know how Stephen A. Smith.
I like the banter. That's what I like. But I don't like when Max Kellerman gets on his stump about if Eric Bieniemy doesn't get a head coaching job, the whole league is racist. Type deal. But look, they saw something in Daniel Jones that they didn't see in Haskins.
Yeah.
Period.
And they made the right choice.
Haskins, here's the thing. Haskins had a shot, and he went to, I think, Georgia first. And Georgia didn't want him as a quarterback. So then he went off and went over to whatever. I don't know where he went to college. Where did he go to college?
I don't know.
Now I got to look up his bio.
I hear Nagy wasn't letting Trubisky play his style of ball, and now Blazer is making offensive calls instead of Nagy. But Bears defense looks bad, and they need to switch up the run more. Yeah, so, all right. So I actually want to touch up on that. So he was talking to me about that on Facebook, how I believe you said that you don't know why they kept giving it to Montgomery, but Montgomery's their lead running back. Especially because of what's his face? Oh, not Rashad. I can't remember the running back's name, but he's out for the year. So Montgomery has stepped up, and I'm saying that's nowhere near what his name is. I forgot. I don't know why I'm saying it wrong, but I can't remember the running back that the Bears had that pretty much went down earlier in the season, and is out for the year. But Montgomery had what 100. was it 95 yards, 100 yards yesterday with the touchdown? Tell you right now.
Wow. Wow, you know what? They actually took Haskins off the Redskins official website already.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to be associated with him.
Well, no. Well, I mean, I'm just trying to get a quick look and see if
Montgomery, yeah, 95 yards, a touchdown. I mean, he took 23 carries to get 95 yards. So, what does he have? 4 yards a carry? That's still not bad. 4 yards a carry. I think Montgomery's not bad. It's the other one that they were alternating with that he got nothing. I'll tell you right now.
Joe, you want to laugh?
Are you talking about, hold on, are you talking about Pierce? Because Pierce did not. Now, Pierce got a touchdown, but he only ran the ball 26 yards.
Hey, Joe.
What?
Joe, guess where Haskins went to college after Georgia?
Where?
Ohio State.
That's what it is.
Hey, Jets, draft Justin Fields, guaranteed. Remember, folks, nothing good comes out of Ohio State.
Bears.
Including their fucking coach.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out who that really quick. I just really, because we're almost, I want to go over next week's games and that's it. Well, the ones that are important. Bears.
Not Bears.
Backs 2020. I think, Tariq Cohen. Where the fuck did I get? You know what I was thinking? I think I was thinking of Mostert from 49ers. But Tariq Cohen was their main running back and he got hurt. Let's see what you said. He is, but they stopped him so fast every time because they knew he was coming. The first time they handed the ball off to the halfback, they scored in 2 drives. Still give the ball to Montgomery, but they got to take some pressure off him. Yeah, well, if this other guy, what did I just say? Pierce, because right now I think they're running with him and Pierce. If Pierce can get some yards, now he only had 2 carries, and one of them was I think 23 yards. So, Pierce scored fast because they were expecting Montgomery every play. Yeah, he had a 23-yard run in one play. So that 2 carries and he had the touchdown, but whatever. All right. Next week's games, this is the final week, and these are big games. First game we got Buffalo, Miami. Right now Bills are sitting at 11-3, and Miami's in the 5 seed. But they need to win, because a loss by them and a Colts win,
they're gone.
So it's a must-win for Miami. The Bills won the division, so the Bills can afford to lose. You don't want to lose, but you can afford to lose. It does nothing for you. You won the division. But
yeah, I mean, they're not going to get the number one, the number one seed if they win or not. I mean, it's pretty much over. But I don't know. I mean, if I know Josh Allen if the starters are going to be out there, I'll go with Buffalo. I mean, it's Miami. I mean, they're going to be playing in South Toronto next week, so it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
So
wait, is it in Buffalo or is it Miami?
In Buffalo.
Why did I think it was Buffalo at my? Try again? I didn't fucking talk to you, you bitch. Did I say anything close to?
No, you did not say Syria.
All right, I guess I wrote them down backwards. All right, so Miami at Buffalo. All right. Next game is
Miami. Yeah, Miami at Buffalo. I'm looking right at it.
What about Ravens? Are they playing in Cincy or at Baltimore? Because now I don't know what.
All right, so Ravens are at Cincinnati.
All right, so I wrote that correct. Obviously, does nothing for Cincy, but the Ravens they also need a win. So this is a big game for Baltimore. I think Baltimore wins.
Yeah, Baltimore wins as much as
Baltimore wins. I think Buffalo wins.
As much as I want to see the Bengals beat them and knock Lamar right on his ass and not in the playoffs, but that's just because I have a hatred.
And then you got Pittsburgh in Cleveland. That's a big game.
That's a big game. I mean, I don't know what. I guess you're gonna have to read. We're gonna have to read up on stuff before the end of the week.
I'm still gonna pick Pittsburgh only because of how both teams played, and again, that major factor is Baker and the Browns going to get their targets back? Because without Peoples-Jones, without Landry, without Higgins, And again, Hodge is their fourth receiver, but I don't know if he's like their main guy. But without those main three that we talked about, especially if you're not going to run with Chubb and Hunt,
Like I said,
you're going to have a problem.
I'm still dumbfounded by what they did.
You're going to have a problem against Steelers defense. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. Titans need another team that needs to win. They play Houston. I think they should be able to handle Houston. What do you think?
Wait, who are we talking about?
Titans and Houston.
Titans.
Yeah. And let's see if Derrick Henry can pull off a miracle and run 223 yards to get into that 2,000 yard the elite club.
I would be you know what, if he pulls it off and does the two.
Wait, when you say pull it, hold on, 223. When you say pull it off, do you mean by running the 2,000 yards or actually pull it off on the field?
If he runs for 223 plus and gets to 2,000,
yeah, they
should hand him the MVP if he does that.
Well, I mean, to get that in the final game, that is definitely a feat that's, you know. However, I don't know if that automatically gives you. I think there's other things to consider. But anyway, yes, because we also don't know what Rodgers is going to do in his final game. Again, it's against the Bears, but as Nick said, their defense needs to step up. Anyway, I'm taking Tennessee either way.
Okay, so I got a thing here. So all right, so with Cleveland, with the situation,
yeah.
Landry, Higgins, Hodge, and Peoples-Jones, they were deemed high risk, close contacts, and continue to test negative. If they continue to test negative, they can return Thursday. Says my wife's man crush, Kevin Stefanski.
All right, perfect.
So if all goes well, I will keep that as I always do for you, Joseph. Checking the news and everything. I will make sure by Thursday. I will.
Dude, don't worry about it. I literally, and I'm not joking when I say this. I watch ESPN every day. I watch it when I wake up. If I'm not watching,
you got Sports Center on loop. That's what you do.
I do. I watch Sports Center in the morning. I'll watch Sports Center. I'll fall asleep to Sports Center. The only reason why I didn't watch it last night is for some reason they were covering basketball instead of showing the football highlights. It was annoying the shit out of me. I was like, it's the third game of the fucking season. I want to see the football. I want to see what's going on in the NFL.
Hey, the Brooklyn Nets are 3-0. Be happy.
They are not. They're 2-1.
They're 2-1. Oh, they lost?
They lost. They lost yesterday, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
They lost by 2 points. I think they said Durant missed a jumper. So,
what a shocker.
Hey, come on. But still 2-1. They still got a good team. They still got
the big money player misses the big shot.
He had a whole year off last year. Give him some.
I know.
Anyway, Jacksonville against the Colts.
Colts.
Remember, I think the Jaguars are actually going to play, and they're going to be playing for a spoiler. But I think the Colts can handle the Jaguars.
Yeah.
The Chargers at KC. I mean, the KC's got to win, but yeah, it's KC's going to win. What do you think? No, that's right. If they're going to not start their starters, and Chad Henne is going to be the quarterback.
I mean, if Andy Reid's going to leave people out, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, that's a game.
I backed up a little bit. Also, I got dark. I had moved back into the light.
You know what? I don't even know why I put that game here. It doesn't matter. So I really don't care about the game. There's no point. The Chargers are eliminated. The Chiefs are number one. They got the bye. They're the best team in football. So. All right, Dallas.
They can afford going 14-2.
Dallas at Giants. I'm going Giants. I think the Giants actually have a legitimate shot. I do.
I mean, do you really think I'm gonna say the Cowboys in this game?
I understand that, but I'm not picking the Giants because I'm a Giants fan. I think the Giants actually could beat the Cowboys.
I don't know. Not the way that fucking defense is looking the last couple of games.
Yeah, and Amari Cooper looked pretty good yesterday, dude.
So did CD Lamb. I mean,
don't forget about Lamb. Oof.
I could go.
I just want that ginger fuck to get knocked out. Like, where? Go back to the Bengals, you fuck.
Ginger snapped.
All
Of course, I'm going to say the Giants. It's God forbid if I ever root for the fucking Cowboys.
Sunday Night Football now. Washington at Philly. Now look. Now you got this kid Heineke playing. You don't have Haskins. You don't have Alex Smith. You have let me tell you something. I hate talking about.
Jalen Hurts played his fourth game. I
know that, but I look. I don't really like to give the other teams in the NFC any credit, but this Washington defense is fucking scary.
It is.
You got Chase Young. You got that other kid. Logan. Is it Logan? I forgot who the other one is, but Chase Young.
Logan Riley.
Is it Logan Riley?
I think it's Logan Riley.
I forgot who it was, but I know Chase Young is a beast. I think it's going to be a tough game, dude. Look,
if you're going to say Washington, then there's no point.
No, I'm saying Philly. I'm just saying that defense is scary. But
But it pains us to say Philly, right? You know
I got to go Philly. You have to go Philly because it doesn't matter. Then if you don't go Philly, then the Giants winning or losing means shit. Doesn't matter. Green Bay at Chicago. Nick, I'm sure you can weigh in on this one. Green Bay at Chicago. I mean, I just think.
I don't know. I mean, Chicago's been playing really.
Chicago's been playing really well. It's a big rivalry. That's number one or number two.
It is Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
it's Aaron Rodgers. It's Devontae Adams. It's Aaron Jones. It's this other kid that we were just talking about. Dylan. The Packers got some weapons.
For me to say that, it's like me, for me to say I'm going to take Chicago over Aaron Rodgers is like me saying I'm going to bet against Seabiscuit up against the bottom level claimer in the fifth race at Aqueduct.
I think the Packers are going to win.
I think Green Bay is going to win, and they're going to.
But I wouldn't.
And they're going to throw it up and.
I think the Packers win, so I'm picking the Packers, but I want the Bears to win. I do. I want the Bears to win. I want the underdog to win. I do. And even going into the playoffs, look, I have nothing against Rodgers. I have nothing against the Packers. But here's a couple of reasons why. And we just went over this earlier too. I think we've established that the only team in the NFC that could probably beat the Chiefs is the Packers. And not that I have anything against Kansas City or the Chiefs, but I'd rather see if I had to pick, I'd rather see the Packers win the game.
I'd rather see my pick and, me picking the Super Bowl contenders and picking the winner is pretty damn good for me.
Yes. And again, we are not even out of week 17 yet. And you can't crown a team just yet. We crowned Tampa Bay in the summertime. Remember?
I hate to say that. I mean, I still going to go with that factor that I think Tampa Bay is going to be if they can. I did do it, but
first of all, it was against the Detroit Lions. That's number one. But they're looking pretty scary. Their last couple of games, their offense is starting to click a little bit.
Even that game up against Kansas City, I mean, granted, Brady lost the game, but still,
it was still a close game.
Still a close game.
Yeah,
that's what scares me. I mean. And it's not like, it's not like you're having a quarterback who plays in Tampa Bay all, for seasons upon seasons. Tom Brady played in cold weather for championships in New England. I mean, this ain't going to be.
Well, that was my pick. I picked KC in Tampa Bay. So let's see. But
I picked KC in Green Bay, but I think Tampa Bay.
Nick said Packers did lose to the Vikings this year, so anything can happen. That is true. But look, also too, and I forgot to really go over that. Even in the Vikings loss to the Saints, which was a fucking blowout. But then again, the Saints outscored them in the fourth quarter like 21-6. Cousins didn't have a bad game.
Tampa Bay beat Aaron Rodgers. Brady beat Rodgers.
Yeah, but he's right though. The Vikings beat the Packers too.
Right, but I'm saying though, so did Brady when. Yeah. Like Green Bay scored those couple of touchdowns. Brady got pissed, and all of a sudden, that's it. Brady won.
I think I wrote that down. We were talking about whatever. I didn't write it down here, but I did have it written down somewhere. But yeah, Cousins didn't have a bad game. Look, and I told this to Nick, I think on Facebook or whatever. Look, give me Cousins, Justin Jefferson, and Dalvin Cook any day. Even Adam Thielen. That's a good offense. It's just their defense. Their defense gives up too many points, but their offense is actually very good. Look, Justin Jefferson probably should be up for Rookie of the Year.
I mean, how good is the defense when he give up 52 points and all of them were rushing touchdowns?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't care how many points your offense scores. If you're giving up 6 fucking touchdowns, well, 7 touchdowns. Because,
counting 10, counting Taysom Hill.
Yeah, 7. All right. Well, speaking of which, New Orleans at Carolina.
Come on.
They gotta win. ATL at Tampa Bay. Do you think the Falcons go spoiler here? I mean, the Tampa already clinched, so it doesn't really matter. I'll go Tampa Bay. Must win for Arizona against the Rams.
I don't know. Goff broke his he dislocated his thumb, snapped it back into place, but we don't know if he's going to start or not.
So the Bears need the Rams to win. Again, it doesn't. The Bears need to beat the Packers, but the consolation is if they do lose to the Packers, they can still get in with the Rams win. But with Goff possibly breaking his finger,
It's his throwing thumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard he did snap it back into place and finish the game. That's a warrior right there in my book.
That's because apparently they thought he jammed it, but it might be broken. So
we gotta get updates on that.
We'll look into that, but as of now, I got to go Arizona. I mean, I'll
go Arizona too, unless I know what's going on.
I hate to, but I'm picking Arizona either way because the way the Rams have been playing, Goff is, you know what I mean? He turns the ball over too much.
Oh, that's the team the Jets beat, the Rams, not the Raiders. What was I thinking?
They did beat the Raiders. No.
No, the Jets didn't beat the Raiders. The Jets beat the Rams.
We actually came to the conclusion that the Raiders won last second. Yes. They should have beat the Raiders.
Zero man blitz.
Backup. So yeah, who is that was the question I was actually going to ask. Who is the backup quarterback, Nick? Who is the backup to Jared Goff? I have no idea. But as I said, I was pulling for the Rams only because I want to see the Bears get that last playoff spot. And then Seattle at San Francisco, I mean, that doesn't mean anything because they clinched their division anyway. So, Seattle.
Hold on, breaking news.
What?
Jared Goff undergoes thumb surgery, out for Sunday's game.
Right. Okay. So who's the backup? I'm going Seattle, by the way.
John Wolford.
John Wolford. Yeah, Nick just said that. Yeah, Nick just said it. John Wolford.
So late breaking news, folks. Jared Goff is not starting.
Nick? How confident are you in the Rams led by John Wolford, which is a basic household name? You think they could that John Wolford could lead the Rams to victory?
John Boy Wolford hasn't been a chance leading him to victory
and helping out your Chicago Bears. Unless the Bears can help themselves and beat the Packers, which I've seen, like he said, you've seen crazier things happen. I think Chicago is one of the hotter teams right now, but again, they beat the Jaguars, so a team that had to lose.
I mean, you're not saying much by beating the Jaguars, but you gotta look at who they beat their last few games with this hot offense they've been playing with.
So right now you got the Chiefs at number 1 at 14-1. Pittsburgh has got the number 2 spot at 12-3. They clinched the North. Bills are 11-3. They're playing right now against the Patriots. They've clinched the East. The Titans are the only one that haven't clinched yet because they are 10-5 along with the Dolphins, Ravens, and Browns. So you got a 4-way tie. So they basically all have to win. They win, they're in. Colts need one of those to lose and also to win to get that 7th spot. So one.
You know what? Chicago doesn't have, Nick, no offense, but Chicago really doesn't have much to talk about with their last 3 wins. The offense was explosive. Here's who they played. Houston, beat them by 29.
But remember, don't forget though,
Minnesota,
Houston.
Minnesota lost won by 6.
Right.
And then Jacksonville spanking of 24. But still, I mean,
Houston's defense isn't bad.
yeah, but Houston's offense sucks. And if I hear any more about Deshaun Jackson being a top
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, you know what I meant.
Deshaun Watson's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, well, yeah. Please don't impress me with 4 and.
Yeah, it's not his fault that the team decided to give away DeAndre Hopkins to the fucking Cardinals.
Hey, you don't win, you're not a good quarterback in my book. Sorry. 4 and 11 doesn't get you the MVP.
All right, NFC's Packers 12-3, number 1. Saints number 2 at 11-4. Seahawks number 3 at 11-4, but they have clinched their division. Washington can clinch with the win at Philadelphia. They're 6-9. Bucks clinched the playoff spot. They're 10-5 at number 5. Rams are currently number 6. They play against the Cardinals, we just talked about. And the Bears are at number 7. They play Green Bay, and they win. They're in. So you got the Cardinals, Cowboys, and Giants all looking in. But the Cowboys and Giants are playing for the division. They're not playing for a wild card. You're not going to get a wild card at 6-9 or 5 or 6-10.
You got fucked up when you're on the outside looking in, and then you look at the NFC East, and you got 4 or 5 teams that can actually play the playoffs.
You look at Arizona and Chicago, who are above 500 right now. They're looking at the Giants and Cowboys at 6-9 and 5-10. Like, are you fucking serious? You're gonna host a playoff game,
and we can't fucking get on the field.
All right. Well, we got the final week is next week, and then we're gonna go into playoff mode. I think when we get to playoffs, obviously the show's going to obviously shrink because there's fewer games to cover.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking playoffs, whether the Giants get in or not, but I'm thinking with playoffs, I think it's going to be more of a game conversation than it will be about stats. That's what I really wanted the show to be from the beginning, is just guys talking about fucking football, whether it's me and you, Mike, or, anybody else that comes in as a guest appearance, just talking about football. The last thing I want to do now, it's good to have it in front of you as a talking point. It's good to have it in front of you as a reference. But the last thing I want to do, and I do it, but the last thing I want to do is the Steelers and Big Ben rally from 21-7 with 9 minutes in the third quarter to go 28-20. Like, I don't want to read straight from the book.
I sound like Jim Nantz calling the Masters right now.
But you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just keep, I want it to be there. So I can tell you. So I can tell you off the bat that Tannehill threw for 121. I want to be able to, but I want to get it in there fluid. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to just read off of cue cards, is basically what I'm saying. But I really do want this to be more of a conversational show.
Well, I like the conversation part. It's like when
with questions, and I like that you bring questions in. I'm not saying that it has to be.
You mean Mike's interesting question of the week?
I'm not necessarily saying that's that particular thing, but I do like the questions that you ask. And I do like the questions that Nick asks, or if anybody else comes in the comment. Right now, it just seems to be Nick. Nick is the only one that got the memo that we're on live. Apparently. And Nick is confident. Oh, by the way, Nick is starting to get a little confident in himself. He thinks he's ready to join us.
He's starting to smell himself. He actually sent me. I think I hate to call you out on this. He actually sent me a selfie of him in his Bears swag that he got.
You went crazy with Bears swag. Bear swag. He loves it.
I mean, you're sending. I don't know how old is little Nick?
Nick, how old are you? 21 or 23? Hold on. If I didn't read this one. If Bears get into the playoffs, I want to say they'd have to play New Orleans first game. Is that true? Well, you're right, because Packers would get the bye. So you're right. The 7th seed would be playing the Saints. You're correct. If it stood as is, if the Packers win and they retain the what do you call it, the first round bye, then the Bears would have to play the Saints. But if the Bears win and the Saints win, oh shit, 25. Look at him. Young
Wow, Moron.
to be young, Madon.
I remember 25.
So yeah, you're right. It's looking again. I can't remember if the Saints have the what do you call it, the tiebreaker over the Packers. I'm not really sure. But as it stands, I believe you're right. I think the Bears would have to play the Saints.
So, so is Nick ready to come live on camera with us?
Well, I don't know if he wants to come live, but I think he does want to show. I think what he's trying to say.
Hey, I graduated cum laude, okay?
But what I think he's trying to say is that he's ready. He's taking notes. He basically said, this is what he said to me. He said, Joe, I look at you and I look at Mike and I look at James every now and then when he came on. And I say to myself, I'm just going to see what James does and do the exact opposite.
Which is the exact thing to do, Nick.
No, actually, I was going to go I was actually going to go the route of us three. He's like, I'm going to look at you three and I see what you guys do and I'm just going to do the exact opposite. No, but yeah, he's been writing notes. He's been showing.
You know what we should get about in the morning. So when we come on, I'll order Dutch. I'll order me a Dutch Brothers coffee, and then you can just watch me drink it throughout the whole show and go, "I want a Dutch Brothers so bad. I want to go back to Arizona."
All right. Oh wait, is Monday morning or no?
As of right now, I'm gonna let you know because my wife is supposed to, according to what her supervisor told her, they are supposed to be going back to the office Monday the 4th.
Okay.
But she didn't get word yet. So until I find out, you'll find out.
All you have to do is let me know by Sunday. That's it.
Hey, I can let you know. Yeah.
He misses Arizona sometimes. He left in 2017. All right, look.
You're not missing much.
Let's we'll talk about that next week. Hopefully we'll get to the morning. Honestly, I don't mind us doing a 7:30 Eastern Standard Time show. I don't mind. I'd rather do morning. I think it's better, it's fresher, but at the same time, if a news story breaks, look, we got the Dwayne Haskins thing we were able to talk about tonight.
Yeah, no, I found that Jared Goff is not playing.
Right. So we would have missed those talking points had we gone in the morning. Would it made a difference? No, because nobody's watching. But
Nick is watching.
I'm kidding. We got like 85 people in the room right now. I'm joking around. It's crazy. It's just they're watching. They're peepers. They call peepers. They just like to watch.
I told you, my stepson told me he watches us on replay after we're done.
Yeah.
So it's like, with his work schedule and school and stuff. And I'm like, but you don't watch football. And he's like, well, look listen to the accents.
Well, you know what else too, though? I had a couple of friends tell me this, and I don't know how much of it is true or not. But if it is true, good. I'm glad. Some of my friends tell me they like to put it on and just listen to us in the background. So that is a good, it is a good thing. And it honestly,
I always said that was one of the blessings of being born in Brooklyn, New York, is that we could talk just like this and say coffee, water, dog, no big whoop.
Yeah, I will say this though, working in a hotel for 15 years, well, 15 plus, if you count the amount of time I've missed, I've probably been only working there 7 years. But anyway, 15 years plus, and just seeing all the different people from all over the world, I lost my Brooklyn accent somewhat. I don't know if you can tell. I did a little bit. Dude, it was a lot more prominent. It was a lot more prominent. When I first started the hotel, when people used to comment to like my manager or whatever, and try to give me compliments or how good I was at my job, they would always refer to me as the kid from Brooklyn.
Well, no, but I mean, like, look, I mean, you hear me. I mean, you still hear it in me.
Yeah.
And like people would tell me when I moved out here, it's like, oh, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it because you're not there anymore. But here's the thing. What came with me to Arizona, I'm married to for 15 years, and she's a Bensonhurst girl.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm losing this freaking accent. Sorry, kiss my ass in front of Macy's window on a Sunday morning.
You almost sounded borderline Chicago there. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Hey, it's Pat Schwartzky with the super fans. We got Kabasa.
I will
We got
say this.
Ditka. We got Ditka and everything.
I actually shortened my notes. I said, you know
And
what?
we're still an hour and 40 minutes.
We went an hour and 26, I think, last week. I was like, I want to short my notes. I want to try to bring it down to an hour. We went above.
We're actually 40 minutes over.
All right. Anyway, guys, I do want to remind everybody, so what I did was I know I said we were just going to do exclusively on Just Your Average Sports this week. I wanted to give everybody one more week to do the transition and know that we are going exclusively starting next Monday. I promise. If you haven't subscribed to Just Your Average Sports, please do so now. I didn't put it in the link this week because I thought I was only going to go on Just Your Average Sports. So if you go to my previous stream from last week.
Then we realized we have only 9 subscribers to Just Your Average Sports.
Exactly.
We only count the 6 people that we know of that are very subscribed, Nick included.
So you'll see it in the comments. You'll see it in the stream, in the link. Click Just Your Average Sports or even whatever. Click Just Your Average Sports. Subscribe to that because starting next Monday, I promise. I gave you one more week. We are going to be going exclusively on this channel, Just Your Average Sports. So right now, I did a simultaneous stream on both Just Your Average Joe and Just Your Average Sports. But starting Monday, we will just be on Just Your Average Sports. So please hit that subscribe button to either channel. If you're not subscribed to either channel, please go ahead and do that. But Just Your Average Sports, just to get your sports fix every week, and hit a like button if you like what you see. Please hit that like button, drop a comment, and let us know what team you're going for. Let me know if your team's in the playoffs. Are they fighting for a spot? Are they eliminated? Who do you want to win the Super Bowl? Come on, we're months away from a Super Bowl. Just over a month away from a Super Bowl. We are a week away from the playoffs, or 2 weeks away from the playoffs, I should say. So let's, this is exciting times. Whether your team is in it or not. I mean, my team is on the brink of not being in it. And at 6-10, if they do win,
probably not going to win the first round game.
That's not something to brag about, as we talked about. But look, I enjoyed the show. Again, I'm excited because the season's over next week, and then we're going to get into the playoff mode. Nick, you got to come on at least one show. Especially if your Bears make the playoffs. We could talk about that. And we'll see what happens, and also too, I don't know what happened to Sippy. I tried to find K-Cove and see if I could find him on YouTube. I can't. So some of these other guys they were talking about, and I actually friended other sports guys that they have YouTubes and podcasts on Instagram. And I was hoping that they would follow and like, because I liked his YouTube. So I guess not, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But really quick, I want to get in his last question, then we're going to sign out. I lost my Midwest accent in Arizona, but it came back when I moved back. It was probably in like a jeans pocket, like an old pair of jeans. And when you unpacked, and it was like that $20 bill, you're like, oh shit, there's my accent. All right, guys. I will Mike, obviously let me know what's going on with the whether we're going to come on in the morning or not. And then I'll obviously let my viewers know whether we're going to come on at Monday morning, which is generally 11 a.m. or Eastern Standard, or 7:30 p.m. next Monday. But either way, we will be here. We will be on. I do want to take this time out to wish everybody a happy new year. Be safe. I will see you guys in 2021. Hopefully it's a good year. And I give you all my best. And again, please subscribe, like, share, comment, all that jazz. I will see you guys next week. Mike, thank you for coming on. And Nick.
Actually, we'll see him next year.
Exactly.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. And Nick, again, thank you for the support. I appreciate it very much. I'll see you guys soon.